In this week's gospel, Jesus talks to us about handling problems between two people, or sometimes we hear this called fraternal correction. All right, what do you do when someone does something wrong to you? And it's interesting because Jesus starts off talking, if your brother sins against you. Maybe you're like me, or maybe this is a problem unique to me. When I hear Jesus say something like that, when your brother sins against you, I automatically hear that as, oh, when somebody does something against you. And he means that. He doesn't just mean your biological brothers. But I usually don't hear it as, when your brother Josh sins against you. Josh is my younger brother, right? I often forget that this works within the context of your family as well. So Jesus is really speaking to a family situation here, and he means it in a broader sense as well. But when your sibling sins against you, what do? So Jesus proposes you go and talk to them one-on-one. If that doesn't work, you go get a couple other people, and if that doesn't work, you take it to the church. So a couple interesting things about this gospel. One is that super helpful process for handling difficulties at home. Oftentimes, we've got little kids in my house. Oftentimes we'll explain this to little kids as, when you have a problem with a sibling or a kid at the playground or at school or wherever, talk to them about it first, and if that doesn't help, come and get me or your mom and we'll come and help fix it. Or go get your teacher or the coach or whoever, who the adult in charge. All right, try to handle it on your own first, and if that doesn't help, go get somebody else to help you out. That's essentially what Jesus is suggesting to us here. Try to address the wrong. Give the person a chance to say they're sorry or to fix it. And if that doesn't work, maybe go get some help. And that's interesting. Jesus escalates this then to, and if that doesn't work, then go get the church. Right? Go take them to the church. Chances are, if you have a sibling squabble, you're not going to come ask Father Joe to mitigate that for you, right? I don't know if that's what Jesus had in mind. But it's interesting to note, he envisions a church that has actual real authority in our lives, right? If we can't fix something on our own, and we get one or two other folks together and we go address that wrong, and we can't get that fixed then either, Jesus envisions a church that has real authority to solve problems and to give guidance, an authoritative church. Which begs the question for you and me in our homes, how often do we let the church have that role in our lives? How do we, do we respect the church's authority to actually tell us, like, yeah, you should go to Mass every Sunday. Yeah, you should be praying as a family. Yeah, you should not be eating meat on Fridays in Lent. It's not Lent now, but insert your favorite church rule. Or do we fall into the trap that the culture has of saying, that's just a bunch of stupid old church rules that some old guys in Rome came up with, and it's not that important? Well, Jesus envisioned that what his church said would carry weight. So what weight does that carry in your household and in my household? Second big takeaway I love is the last line in this, as Jesus says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. He's talking about this in the context of the church, right, where 2 or 3 of his followers are gathered in his name. He's there in this authoritative church, but he also means it in your house and in my house, where 2 or 3 of his followers are gathered. Mom, dad, child. All right, mom, child, sibling, dad, sibling, right? Where 2 or 3 of you are gathered in Jesus' name, when you gather as a family to do faith formation at home, to pray, when you gather in Jesus' name, he is there with you. It's a promise from Jesus. It's just true.